Hi, welcome to my latest video. It is a freezing cold February day here in Beavis Pits. It is actually snowing, so I thought I'd go outside and tinker with the car. Don't worry, I've got 3 jumpers on. I'm not cold yet, so I'm looking for a quick job to do because I know that I'm going to be cold very soon. So, depths of winter. Perfect time to change the pollen filter. There is no pollen around at all today, as you can see. There are no flowers and there's no grass growing. Okay, so this is the pollen filter, LR056138. Okay, it is sort of like well, it is an air filter. It looks a bit like the air filter that goes in here. It's a bit larger than that, and the pollen filter is one of those jobs that everybody complains about and says, oh, it was really difficult, really fiddly to do. So I'm going to give it a go. I'm really hoping this will be a nice quick job. Did actually change it about 3 or 4 years ago, and it was quite easy to do then. It's just kind of pot luck whether or not things line up and the new filter element just slides in. I've heard of a lot of people wrestling with it for ages, trying to get it in. One thing to note here is there is an airflow marking on here, so the filter needs to go like that inside the car. So up behind the glove box, the filter goes like that, so that the air goes through in that direction into the car. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is remove the glove box, and then we'll have a look and see where the pollen filter fits. Okay, so to remove the glove box, you just drop the glove box down. Now there is meant to be a nice damper that lowers the glove box slowly. The damper connects just up in here. If your glove box drops slowly, then you need to disconnect the damper. It's a bit fiddly. You need to reach up in there and disconnect it, okay, at the glove box end of the damper. If, like mine, yours has snapped off and the glove box is just dropping under gravity, then you don't need to worry about that. All you need to do is just lift the glove box. Okay, so when we look at the hinges, actually, so it's more of a pulling out, actually, not so much lifting, but you can see there, you can just about see there's a sort of circular shaft in a clip. So if I pull the glove box towards me, that pops out, okay? Same on the other side. See if we can see that. It's a bit dark down there. I'll pull that out, and then you just lift the whole thing free. Okay, so you can see now this round piece here. It's not actually round. It's sort of egg-shaped sort of bit there. There you go. You can see that. So that curved bit there clips into here. Okay, it goes in there, and the other one clips in there. So with that removed, we can see that this is the wiring for the footwell light. The damper, there's the damper on mine. I tucked it back out the way so it didn't get caught up when the glove box was opened. Okay, so this is the damper. Okay, so that's what it looks like, and this piece here, this shaft here, goes into that hole there. Okay, into there. Now this one, I don't actually know why it's disconnected. Something's definitely broken. Something's broken off there. This piece here, I think actually would still go in there. It just needs a split pin or something to locate it in there. There must be some sort of clip or something. I'm sure there was a piece here that was like a sort of a clip that held it in place. Without that clip, my one is just going to keep disconnecting. So what I'll do at some point, not today but another day, is I'll very carefully drill a small hole through this round shaft here, connect it up, and just put a little R clip or something just to stop it from falling out. So now that the glove box has been dropped down, we can have a look underneath where the pollen filter goes. Okay, it's very, very difficult to get to, but what you're looking for is that little long vertical flap there with these sort of triangular kind of patterns on it. There's a couple of clips as well. Okay, so I'm going to move this glove box completely out of the way and put it in the back of the car, so that I can get right down in and open up that flap and pull out the old filter and slide in the new one. I've got a brighter light on this now, so you can actually see clearly. It's this vertical door, this vertical cover here, and we need to pull towards, so pulling towards the rear of the car on the 3 clips on the frontward side, the side nearest the front of the car. Okay, so these bits here are just sort of hinges. So what I'm going to do now, and this is incredibly difficult to get to, is I'm just going to try and reach in. There we go. Right, try and do that without blocking the light. Okay, so pulling that one and the next one, and you have to just grip them. Okay, and that's now come off. Okay, so what you do is you just squeeze the clip. Okay, so these clips have got little tiny recesses on them. Okay, and there are some barbs on the main body of the filter housing, so you just sort of bend that very slightly, squeeze it, and it'll unclip, and then the whole thing comes off. Okay, right, there is the end of the old filter. You can see the arrows for the airflow going from front to back. So what I'm going to do now is try and reach up and pull out the old filter. Now luckily this filter has a sort of plastic flap on it. Now, I'll show you when it's fully out, but you just pull that out, being careful to avoid any wiring. I've got lots of extra wiring here tucked up, which is wiring from my dash cam. I think, but you bend it round, pulling it out and sort of bending it as you go. Okay, right, there is the old filter. So that's how it was in the car, the airflow marking. You can see this little plastic flap there, which I grabbed hold of to get it going, and then once it was a half out, I sort of just pulled the whole thing out. What that bit, oh, that's just okay. I'm not sure if I'm meant to reuse that piece or not. I think I am, actually. I don't think the new filter's got that. So what I'm going to do is it's very, very difficult working in there. So there's the new one. Look at the state of that. Oh, that's the old one, and that was put in a couple of years ago. I mean, it's meant to be changed every year really, but a lot of garages don't really bother doing it as part of the regular service. Main dealer probably would do this because they would follow the correct servicing guide. I know that my local indie garage just does air filter and oil filter, and that's about it. They don't change this. So if you don't think yours has been changed for a while, it's worth changing it. You can see all the rubbish that's been caught there, seeds and insects and everything. So what I'm going to do is try and get this plastic piece off, because the new filter doesn't come with one of those. Okay, so there's the one from the back. I think it just clips on to the end. Okay, so what I'm going to do is open up this and swap these plastic bits over, and then we'll try and slide the new one in somehow. Okay, so I've opened up the new one. Now, I managed to pull this piece off the old one, but I can't put it onto the new one because that's wider. However, I've just realised that that is a flap, and there is actually one at the other end as well. So they must have, Land Rover must have got rid of these plastic sort of handle flap things at the end. Maybe this is not a genuine Land Rover one, I don't know, I can't remember where I bought that. But you don't need to swap these across as far as I can see. It's worth just checking though that your new filter has got some kind of thing to hold on to. Not so much for putting it back in, but in a year or two time when you want to pull that out again, you'll be grateful for something to hold on to there. So if yours hasn't got this flap, then you need to do something. Either put these across, or a bit of string or something, just something to enable you to pull that one out again in a couple of years when you go to renew it again. So okay, one other thing I've noticed, and I don't know if this is significant, but this edge here is raised compared to that edge. That edge is lower, and this edge here is raised. Okay, this one has got the edges are the same height. Underneath that's the same. It's just this bit here, and I don't know if that is to aid sort of alignment so that you can only put it in one way. I'm not sure. I have heard of people having issues with this. What has happened is they've got it the wrong way round, and they found that this strip here is too wide and it won't fit into the housing. But then when they've turned it that way, it's gone in. I don't think we're going to have that issue with this one, because it's different. Let's carefully just hold the two up so you can see there. So if I put that like that, you can see that's the same thickness there, but on the other side there is a difference. There is a difference there. Okay, so this piece is taller on that side. That is the lower, yeah, it was that way round, the dirty side towards the front of the car. So that was the lower edge. Okay, right, okay. Now it's interesting actually that this new one has a dark grey side and a white side. Looking at this, the white side goes to the front of the car, so the white side is to atmosphere as such, and then the grey side is to the interior of the car. This one's obviously filthy dirty on the atmospheric side. Right, I'm going to try and stick this in because the weather is getting pretty snowy and cold now. I need to get this one in and go inside and warm up. Right, last double check, airflow. So that needs to go that way. Now putting it in, and this is where people have a lot of difficulty, is, according to the Haynes manual, is the reverse of removal. Okay, what you have to do is just try and carefully bend the filter so that you can get it aligned to the housing. Now I'm going to need to use 2 hands for this, so I'm going to have to put the phone down. I just want to get that started and get it halfway in, and then I'll carry on filming. Okay, so with a bit of wiggling and a bit of swearing, I managed to get that halfway into its housing. If I put that light like that, okay, so you have to sort of bend it and wiggle it and slide it in. It is incredibly fiddly, but that's it. There you go, it's in. Okay, and then all you've got to do then is put the door back on, get it the right way round. So these diamond shaped reinforcing ribs go on the outside. When you look at this, it looks like that smooth side would be the outside, but it's not. That's the inside. Okay, so it goes that way round, and you have to just try to do it. Very. Oh. Try and do it just. Okay, so by feeling for these bottom 2 to be located, once they're located, reach up for the 3rd one, and then when all 3 of these sort of hinge clips here are behind their little hooks, press hard here, and the next one up, and the other 3 things should click in, and you'll feel them click in. You do have to press quite hard, okay, because you're pushing the new filter into its housing. But that is it. That is it. One of the more fiddlier jobs on the Freelander 2. I can now put the glove box back in. Okay, so to get the glove box into position is quite fiddly. You have to locate these bottom round bits into the clips. Okay, but you can't have the glove box hanging too low, because there's another clip thing here. I don't know if you can see that. Okay, so there is a piece there, okay, which has to be beyond that little lip there. Okay, so you have to get that into that bit, and then the technique is just brute force. Okay, so when the glove box is kind of there and it's not quite in, just give it a good wallop there and there, and it'll go click, click, and then closed. Okay, it's fiddly. Doing this pollen filter is one of the more difficult jobs, but I'm really hoping that now you've seen me struggle with it in the freezing cold and the snow, you'll find it a little bit easier. And when summer finally arrives and we have some pollen in the air, that new filter should stop it getting into the car. Okay, I hope that was useful. I'm going inside now to warm up. Thank you for watching. Bye.